Hey y'all, it's Judo Rebel here back with another fitness vlog. And yeah, Kakashi. Shout out to Naruto. Anyways, in this video I actually wanted to talk briefly or more so introduce the OPT model that I mentioned in my last vlog video. Check it out. The OPT model, like I said before, stands for the Optimum Performance Training model. And it's a scientifically proven constructed model created by NASM, and that's kind of the basis of the exercise programs and how they aim to get people in shape pretty much. So as you can see, the first phase that we have of the model is the stabilization endurance phase. The best way I would probably describe this phase is that it's exactly what it was. It is exactly what it is. It's the beginning phase where it helps, where the idea is to get yourself, or if you're training someone, a person, to the point where their body can stabilize itself when doing exercises, so that when it comes to doing the heavier exercises that will come later on in the exercise program, later on in the later phases of the model, that they can properly do it. There are different ways that you go about doing the exercises in this phase. This phase has a particular tempo that they call like the 4-2-1 tempo, and that's the way in which you would go about doing the particular exercise that you're doing to help your body. The idea is you want to do those particular exercises at that tempo in pretty much a controlled, unstable environment, such as using a stability ball, for example, which is one that I'm sitting on right now, or using other things like, boards, you got the Bosu ball, and like various ways to make the exercise a lot more challenging, where it forces your body to have to stabilize itself. Obviously, if you do any type of exercise that you're standing up, you're pretty much your body's gonna have to stabilize when you're doing anything using resistance, especially when it comes to resistance training, because your body has to be able to stabilize itself while whichever muscles is the focal point, the primary mover, can perform the exercises in a safe environment. So pretty much, I consider that phase to be a phase where pretty much making sure that your body is capable and able to perform exercise at the proper form, so that you can do more intense exercises later on. Phase 2. I like phase 2. It's a very challenging phase. Strength endurance. It's exactly what it says. The goal is to increase the endurance of like your strength. I can't even speak. Pretty much, you want to increase the endurance of your muscles. So that you could continue, so you could perform exercise with heavier weights. This phase is challenging because, especially when it comes to resistance training, it does incorporate using the supersets, where if you don't know what supersets is, it's pretty much back-to-back exercises with no break in between. So you do one exercise, you go right into it. For example, I could go down, I could do a bench press, and then I go immediately from a bench press to doing a push-up with a stability ball. That's an example of a particular superset that could definitely work your chest, and also has some secondary muscles that works as well. So that phase, you're pretty much going to incorporate a strength exercise and a stabilization exercise. The stabilization exercise is pretty much what you were doing in phase 1. So you'll be doing at the 4-2-1 tempo, what have you with that particular exercise, and you have a strength exercise that's going to go at a different tempo, which is pretty much 2-0-2 tempo, which I would like to define more as just a moderate tempo, like you would normally do, like if you're doing curls, just like doing moderately, not speeding, but doing it moderately. And you would do the strength exercise first, and you go right into the stabilization exercise, and then that'll complete your superset. It's very challenging to do it. I did it in my programs that I've done before, and they are challenging, very, very challenging. So that phase 2 is a really good phase. I like it. Phase 3, hypertrophy. Yes, that's my phase. That's the phase I like to be in. Being a person that's trying to put on more muscle, that's the phase that you're really going to be in. Pretty much, it is what it is. Like, you're just doing exercises at a 2-0-2 moderate tempo with weight, just heavier weights to help you build up muscle. Now, I didn't mention this in the phases before, But obviously the intensity of the exercises do go up as you go through the phases. So as you go up in the phases, obviously the weight is going to go up. Probably the amount of sets are going to go up because you want to make sure that your body, you get putting your body through that work so that it can go through those changes. So hypertrophy, it is what it is. I actually, when doing exercise in this phase, I prefer to do exercises that don't require me to have to stabilize my body, so that the primary focus is on the whatever muscle, that group that I'm focusing on. It pretty much isolating that muscle. So, when I'm doing exercise in this phase, I would prefer to be on like a bench, something like that, where there's something that's already stabilizing my body so that I can sit down and just do the exercise, whatever it may be. Without my body having to worry about stabilizing itself. All the focus will be on that one particular muscle. So hypertrophy, I mean, that is what it is. Perfect phase. I love it. Let's build that muscle. Phase 4, maximal strength. This phase is kind of harder to explain a little bit. And like I told you, I mean, I just got my certification. I'm still trying to break down exactly the real focus of this phase. I'm like, when you use maximum strength, it's pretty much pushing your body to the limit to perform exercises at pretty much a tempo the tempo is not even really 202. It's kind of more so as fast as you can controlled. Without, like, you don't want to go just insane with it, but you want to perform the exercise as fast as you can and see how much strength that you can push. And definitely when you're in this particular phase, since you will be incorporating a lot more weight in it, it's going to require you to have to rest a little bit longer between the exercises. You're probably not going you will not do as many reps. Typically you probably be doing like 3 to 5 reps per set max when it comes to doing maximum strength, just because of the amount of weight that you will be utilizing in this phase. So yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's maximum strength. You just going to the max. Final phase 5, is power. So power, it's pretty much the idea is that you want to increase your body's ability to produce more force when it comes to doing exercise, and when it also comes to doing like other outside activities, depending on what you're doing, that can be incorporated into the type of job that you're doing if you're involved in a particular sport. This phase, it's really interesting because it does it really focuses on trying to just getting your body to that ability that could create as much force as possible. That's the best way to really explain it. For me, I personally haven't done any exercises for myself going into the power phase because, focus has been a lot more on muscular growth and all that stuff. But having that control with your body, when able to produce the force and having the stabilization, it all comes into play into the power phase. In the power phase, honestly, you need to go through you have to go through other phases first before you get there. So you got to make sure your body can stabilize itself properly. You have the strength endurance to help produce that force. It's a lot of stuff that comes into going into that particular phase. That is the OPT model in a broken down, simplistic way of explaining it. Like I said in my last vlog, I pretty much took myself through I put myself through a program following the OPT model. I pretty much went from phase 1 to 3 because of the focus of the program. The focus was to build muscle. So I went through the stabilization phase, I went through the strength endurance phase, and I went to the hypertrophy phase to help me reach my goal within 2 months, which I succeeded in reaching that goal. But anyways, that's it for this video. I'm going to have another video talking about just overall my opinion of the OPT model and break it down for you guys so that y'all know it's like, oh, this is like I said, my opinion. I'm like, this is what I think about it, how effective it is, and if you should incorporate this style or if you should learn this particular style. But yeah, so if y'all like this video, please leave a like, please leave a comment with any with your thoughts, any type of suggestions that you would make to me. Maybe I didn't explain these phases as, in as best of a way I could have. Probably didn't, but hey, it's hard. But anyways, somebody leave those comments and also subscribe to stay up to date for the next video. So until the next one, Rebel out, Kakashi out. Peace.